Hello and welcome to my channel, Attila Tarot. In this video, we're gonna look at the relationship between Alberta and Canada. So obviously, I've been getting a lot of questions. What's gonna happen between Alberta and Canada? Will Alberta separate or not? And I've been wondering what is the best way to approach this question, because I'm not here to really fuel anybody's feelings or confirm anybody's feelings, but I'm here to read you the cards and create a story based on the true meanings of the cards. So the way I was thinking, what is the best way to do it? And I'm gonna do pretty much a relationship analysis between Alberta and Canada. I'm using, as you can see, quite a few decks. These cards are representing Alberta's side, how Alberta is feeling, what are the energies from Alberta's end. These cards are representing Canada's feelings and what is happening from Canada's perspective. Then we're also gonna look at how is this current relationship right now. Then we're gonna look at what are the hindering factors, what are the opportunities, and what is the final outcome. And we're gonna look at the bottom of the decks, all the three decks, to kind of create a full story. So I hope you're gonna enjoy this reading, and I think let's get started. We're gonna start with the cards that are representing Alberta's side. The first card we have here is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is all about spark, energy, new ideas, new initiatives, and something that has an opportunity that can become more. Then generally, like all the aces, they indicate a new chapter, a new beginning of some sort, which definitely indicates here that Alberta is full of initiative, new ideas, fire, desire for an independence or a fresh start. There's a lot of ambition and energy to lead here. And also I'm kind of getting that, because this is a card full of energy, so obviously the energy sector might be a key player in this decision or in this movement, or generally I think how Alberta is feeling about the relationship between Canada and the province itself. The next card we have here is the Seven of Swords, which is a card of lying, cheating, stealing, being dishonest, and also a card of new strategies, new approaches, new diplomacy as well. So this is always, I find this card very tricky from that point of view, because obviously I think there's some kind of a mistrust here from Alberta's side. Maybe they feel that they haven't been treated fairly. Maybe there's a need to maneuver behind the scenes to protect their interest, but also can indicate some kind of a secrets, right? Maybe there's something that they're not open about. They're not telling what the full picture is. But also this can lead to some kind of a new approach, a new strategy, something connected to diplomacy. Because I always like to say that, the Seven of Swords, yes, lying, cheating, stealing, because he's stealing those swords. But the reason why he's stealing the swords, because he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to continue to fight. He wants to sit down. He wants to actually have a more diplomatic approach. So I think Alberta might be opening up to that, to not to continue to have the back and forth fight, but actually sit down and have a more diplomatic approach and a conversation. Now we also have here the Three of Cups, which is actually very positive, because this is a card of celebrity, joy, community, and which kind of indicates that yes, there's a conflict, but also there's a cultural and economic benefit. Because I think it can reflect how Alberta still celebrates national unity and the times unity at the times, and how its economy is interdependent with the rest of the Canada, right? Like that togetherness here, I think it might be still important for Alberta. So there's definitely this feel of unity, and there's that feel of trying to separate or trying to be more independent with that Ace of Wands energy. Now at the bottom of the deck we do have the Devil, which is a shadow card. So generally what we need to know about the Devil, that it is a card that shows a lot of dependency, right? Dependency, it can be obsession, it can be dependency economically, any kind of dependency where you don't see a way out of a situation as well, which kind of says here that there's some kind of a double-edged sword here in a sense, because the Devil is something that you're kind of feeling stuck, you're kind of feeling that you're in this situation where you don't want to get out, you don't know how to get out, but it also calls you back, attracts you back, right? Which can be the gas sector, the oil gas sector, the economic identity, or the national identity of the country as a whole. Because there is resentment, but also dependency here with the Devil. Maybe even addiction to power dynamics as well, right? So there's definitely here this double-edged sword that yes, I want to be free, but I'm kind of dependent on certain things, and there's that cultural ties as well. So I think all in all, there's a lot of energetic feeling and rebellious movements and suspicions and unresolved resentment and entanglement that's happening from Alberta's side. But it might desire more autonomy, but it's not entirely free, right? Again, because there's just too much dependency that is happening. Now let's see what we can see from Canada's perspective. So for Canada, the first card we have here is the Page of Cups, which is can be somebody who's very dreamy. It can be surprises as well, and also an offer that comes from the heart, like gestures, emotional gestures as well, and all the kind of pages are generally indicate somebody who's not mature enough, somebody who's a little bit naive. So what I'm kind of getting from that I think Canada is open to reconciliation and offer things to Alberta, making gestures, but it might be a little bit naive the way Canada sees what's happening in Alberta, and not necessarily fully grasping that fiery intensity, that energy that is happening in Alberta. The next card we have here from Canada's side is the Fool, which is new beginnings, new chapters, going into a brand new direction, and also not necessarily seeing the dangers that lie ahead of us when we're kind of going into this new chapter, right? Like you can kind of see that the dog is there to warn the Fool about that, he's about to fall off the cliff on the traditional tarot card. So what I'm kind of getting here, I think there's a lot of new chapters, new opportunities that Canada is kind of seeing happening, but it might be a little bit too idealistic about this unity, and not necessarily seeing the dangers that are lying ahead of them in terms of like this relationship with Alberta. And I think there needs to be more warnings, somebody who kind of really calls the attention to the deep-seated issues that are happening in Alberta. Like they're kind of a little bit foolish, I would kind of say. Now we also have on the Canada side the Magician. Now, the Magician is a card of having all the skills, all the ability to create the future, to create whatever you desire to do. Right? You have all the skills, and you're able to handle all the situations that come your way. So I think this kind of shows that Canada holds way more power than it may show. The federal systems, the national control over policy, environmental policy especially. But I think just generally they have everything they need in order to keep this relationship as is. Right? They have a lot of power, a lot of control, and they're able to maneuver the situation. They're able to handle the situation as it comes their way. Now, at the bottom of the deck for Canada, we do have here the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is somebody, it can be a leadership, definitely emotional intelligence, sensitivity, care. So I think Canada definitely shows that they have the feelings, or they kind of try to understand emotionally what Alberta is going through. At least, they're kind of sensitive to it. So all in all, what I can kind of see from Canada's end, that I think Canada has good intentions, but they might be a little bit overly idealistic and not really grounded when it comes to the reality of the concerns that are coming from Alberta. And it holds way more tools, power than it lets out. But I think it kind of prefers more of a gentle and more of a reconciliatory approach to kind of find a solution for this. But again, they do have a lot of power in this. Now let's look at the current relationship between Alberta and Canada. The first card we have here is the Four of Pentacles, which is a card of being very cautious, not taking risks, holding on to things, holding on to resources, holding on to money, and holding on to previous issues that they had. And generally, what we need to know about the Four of Pentacles, that it indicates somebody who worked very hard for something, and they're just really afraid of losing it. So, and it is also a card of control, right? So there's definitely a holding on to something on both sides: fear, loss, economic control, economy, resources, etc. I think there's definitely a fear of losing whatever they achieved on both sides, right? Because it kind of reflects the current situation, what is there. And again, there's definitely also an indication here of not letting go of certain issues from the past, and also can indicate secrets, right? Something that they're just not open, that's not discussed openly. Now again, we see here the Three of Cups, similarly as we've seen it on Alberta's end, which is a card of cooperation, great community, and seeing things similarly, and celebrating all of those things. So again, it kind of shows cooperation, mutual benefits, and it can be also in the economic sector. So there's a lot of things to celebrate here. What's between Canada and Alberta. Some of you might disagree with it, which is perfectly fine, but I think it just shows that there's still a lot of cultural similarities. But we also have here the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is the card of conflict and competition. So let's kind of look at that from both angles. If it kind of shows up as a conflict, which we definitely know that there's a conflict, it's not a serious conflict. Like the Five of Wands is not a serious one. It is one of those where people just might see things differently because of their cultural background. So I think maybe just the culture in Alberta and the rest of the Canada might be different. Like we can kind of see it from the voting patterns that, Alberta is always voting conservative. Other sides of the country are more liberal, or they kind of change back and forth between whether they go conservative. So I think there might be definitely that cultural difference, because I kind of like to see this card as that people come from different backgrounds and they see things from a different angle as well. But also there's a competition element, that maybe there's a competition, an economic competition here between Alberta and Canada as well. But again, I want to kind of highlight that yes, there's friction, there's conflicting goals, and the political approach that are different. But again, this is not a very, very hard conflict. This is kind of like when you see how far you're able to push the envelope. It's like, okay, let's see if I do this, what's going to be your response, right? How far can I go? So there's definitely that, which I think is overall good to see. Now let's look at what are the hindering factors of this relationship. So the first card in this sector is the World. The World, what we need to know about it is generally end of a cycle, finishing something, and achieving a lot of goals. But also, like, you know, especially when you kind of look at it from a country perspective, it's the whole. It's going to be the whole world or international relationships as well. So maybe it can be that because it's a hindering factor, it can be that international relationship might be a hindering factor, or international agreements might be a hindering factor, because, you know, there's obviously, I think the challenge that I see that Alberta's oil and gas is definitely limited by certain international treaties. So those international treaties or international agreements might be a hindering factor. Or maybe it can also be that Alberta might be feel cut off or outside of global environmental pressures and restrained by international obligations. But also, whatever happening internationally might be a hindering factor. Whatever is happening with the US might be a hindering factor. Or the European market, getting to the European market from Alberta's perspective might be a hindering factor as well. So I think there's some kind of international pressures that are hindering this relationship. Now you also have here the Two of Swords, which is a card of indecision and trying to avoid a decision because, you know, you're kind of going back and forth, and you're not making a decision that you shouldn't be making. Now this can be indecision for leaders, provincial, federal, or maybe avoiding tough conversations as well, because again, like this is kind of like when you just want, like as a conflict, you just want to be out of it, you just want to be neutral, and I think they need to sit down in order to make a decision. And there's definitely that avoidance of, okay, I don't want to see it, I don't want to focus on this, but I think, yeah, that's definitely an issue. Let me know what you think, especially if you're from Alberta, how you see it. Now there's also, we have here the Nine of Swords, which is a card of fear, anxiety. So I think there's definitely some anxiety and pressure, especially from an economic uncertainty or public discontent, that might be a hindering factor here. But all in all, I think what we can see here, that there's a fear of change. There are global pressures, climate targets, you know, international image, and there's like an analysis paralysis that are blocking or the progress in this relationship between Canada and Alberta. Now let's look at, after the hindering factors, the opportunities. So the first card we have here is the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, it's a great card because, first of all, it's a king, so it is a leader. So there might be here some leadership. Generally, what we know about the King of Pentacles, that he has all the resources. He is very thoughtful. He is also not taking big risks. He's very conservative in his approach, but also this can be connected to economy. It can be connected to long-term stability and focusing on long-term stability, because, you know, the King of Pentacles achieved everything by hard work, and it is a card of long-term success. So from that perspective, it can be connected to some conservative leadership as well. That might be a potential here. It might be also stable shared prosperity as well, right? So when you kind of look at if Alberta and Canada align on economic matters, especially how energy is handled, I think that can bring long-term stability, long-term prosperity, and I think that will definitely help to resolve the conflicts that are between the province and the country. Now we also have here the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of balance, harmony, especially from the financial perspective. Like this is the card of equal give and take, providing financial help. So I think this is kind of more about the balanced give and take, how much the federal system is frameworks is taking money and how much it is giving back as a money to the provinces. These revenue share models, financial help, financial aid, that's definitely the main topic. This is kind of like when a powerful powerful person or powerful entity comes in to help. So I think I'm kind of getting more a better distribution of the funds. Might be something that offers an opportunity here for a better collaboration between Alberta and Canada. Now let's see what is the other opportunity. So the other opportunity is a King of Swords. So again, King of Swords, like all the kings, they are indicating leaders or leaderships. And the King of Swords, what we need to know about him, he is somebody who's very smart, very logical, very factual, and they care about the truth and nothing but the truth, and they say whatever they think. Can interpret the legal system. It can be like, a lawyer, a judge or something on a regular reading. So there are a couple of things we can kind of look at here. And also can be like, the truth coming out. So there's definitely, from a leadership perspective, somebody who's rational, somebody who's logical can definitely help the situation. Having clear policies, talking about the truth and nothing but the truth, I think can also be very important in terms of finding a solution here. But also changing the law or changing some kind of a constitution or a fair representation might be also interesting. But also very interesting from when I kind of, as a reader, if you kind of put together the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords, this is somebody who is good with money, good business approach, conservative, and also very logical and says whatever he thinks and focusing on the truth, focusing on the facts. So that can be a combination of a leader who is uniting all of those abilities as well. Let me know, who do you think that leader is? I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are. Now let's see what's going to be the final outcome of this relationship. We're going to see the cards and the bottom of the deck as well. But before that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's an indication that you enjoyed this reading. And I also would like to welcome you to check out my other readings. I have quite a few that's covering Canadian politics. I had readings about the leaders. I had readings about the election as well, where I was pretty accurate to predict what was happening. Again, sometimes whatever is happening, whatever I say is not what you want to hear, but I'm only representing the meanings of the cards. And also check out my regular videos that I do for the monthly for your sign in a money, career, finance, and also from a love and relationship perspective. It might be helpful for you too on your day-to-day. But let's see how this relationship between Canada and Alberta will unfold. So first we have here the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is a card of hard work, putting a lot of effort into something, a lot of effort and working hard day and night on something. But eventually, through that hard work, you're actually achieving whatever you want. But also can be repetitive cycles. So what I can kind of see here, there's definitely hard work is ahead. Both parties, Alberta and Canada, they need to commit to a long-term relationship, repair, structure change, and work very, very hard on it. And again, there might be some repetitiveness here too. Now we also have here the Five of Pentacles, which is a card of challenges, hardship, economical challenges as well. When you're kind of feeling left outside of the cold, you're feeling lack. So this might indicate that there might be some economical challenges here. but also important that the help is there. So and it is a card of isolation as well, feeling alone. So I think Alberta may still feel isolated, alone, especially when it comes to economical or national conversations. But let's see the next card, which is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of swift movement, moving forward, growth, progress as well, and good news, and great, achieving things very fast. So I think things could actually move quickly. There's a potential here for fast policy changes or major public shifts or messages as well, because this is all about messages. And altogether, what is great to see here, that it's a positive movement forward. So there might be some hard work, etc., and some economical challenges, but I think there's an opportunity to move forward. And at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Ten of Cups, which is, you can kind of see that the Ten of Cups is the perfect relationship, really. The perfect relationship where, after the difficulties, after the challenges, after great storms, the sun comes out, the rainbows comes out, and you're kind of in this moment of bliss, of enjoyment, right? You can kind of see how harmonious these people are, how well they are living together in this moment, and even in spite of the difficulties, they find the pleasures in the relationship. So all in all, what I can kind of see is that despite the hardship, there's potential here for reconciliation or long-term harmony if both commit emotionally and practically, right? So, and especially when you kind of look at the bottom of the deck, you do have there the Empress, which shows a new birth, a birth of something that provides long-term stability, long-term abundance, economical prosperity as well. So what is my verdict? What will happen with Alberta and Canada? I think Alberta is unlikely to separate, but there's going to be pressure. There's definitely tension between economic isolation, federal control, especially when it comes to natural resources, but there's a potential crisis or fast-moving development, but long-term reconciliation is definitely possible, because you have here this Ten of Cups that shows unity, that shows, look at how they are embracing each other, and under that you have the Empress, which shows long-term stability and long-term prosperity. I know that's not what some of you want to hear, but that's what the cards are telling us. And let me know what you think. Just be respectful with each other. Who do you think is this leadership? And what do you think about the outcome, what's going to happen between Canada and Alberta? So that's all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I'll be able to welcome you again.